Welcome to Wrestling Talk. I'm Leonard Kaplan along with Ed Whittier, and here we are once again. It is February, post-Royal Rumble, and post the Bruno show that I posted on YouTube, half of it.
Yes.
And I guess I have to explain this.
Len, we have so much to talk about. I'm not sure that 60 minutes is going to cut it.
Yep.
We have a lot of things that are going to happen today, and we've got a short time to fill it in.
Yes,
but
we do.
I just wanted to bring something up.
Yeah.
Because it's screaming out at me.
Okay.
It's the clashing colors between your Cowboy Bob Orton cast, which is a nice sky blue.
Yeah.
With a little white on the edges.
Yeah, I had a purple one.
Yes, and you're a Big Josh / Mick Foley shirt you're wearing, along with your Russian sailor's cap.
Yeah, you know, what can I say?
You are a Hollywood fashion plate.
I had to, first of all, I want to be warm.
Well, you're warmer than I am.
Unlike you, I did not think that it was June and come in short
Well, you know what? I have to admit, but I wanted to show off my new Led Zeppelin shirt. See, okay. Unfortunately, it was in my defense, I wanted to show off the shirt. It is so cold in here, you can hang meat.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
And I'm thinking about wearing Paul's jacket. Really,
well,
it's that
I don't
cold.
know. That wouldn't be too respectful.
Probably not, but hey, when you're cold, you're cold.
You can go put yours on.
No, that'll look too puffy.
Anyway, this happened. It was a household accident. I was going up the stairs. I fell up. I'm the only person in the world that can fall up the stairs.
No, I have heard of that. I've never heard of somebody breaking something falling
January
up the stairs.
18th, this happened, and I'm getting it off in 8 days from now.
Okay. So I'm not going to get that
28th.
off the back of the head?
Nah, I don't know, unless you want me to.
Well, I don't know. We're going to stay away from that.
But there's a plethora of things to talk about.
Man, I'll tell you,
stuff
unfortunately, we're so far out from Royal Rumble, I definitely think it's worth talking about.
Yeah, a little bit. We both enjoyed it, first of all.
First of all, I have to admit, it was the first pay-per-view that you and I have seen in quite a while that from top to bottom was pretty decent.
And again, when that happens, it's usually the case of their being very toned down in their ridiculous kind of things that go on.
Quality matches. Yeah. A really exciting Royal Rumble. Yeah. The Royal Rumble match itself, which can be lackluster. In years past, it has been.
You were disappointed that Dolph didn't go all the way to the top three.
Man, Dolph Ziggler is he's like the guy that can't win the big one.
Yeah.
If Dolph Ziggler is not world champion or WWE champion in 2013, somebody from WWE should be fired. They should fire every writer there. Fire them all. You're fired.
Well, you know.
I'm sorry. The man is so. Have you seen the drop kicks he's been doing lately?
I really, I'm on board, and I have to admit that you were on board way before I was with Dolph. And AJ really enhances him. They are the modern day equivalent of Macho Man and Elizabeth.
Wow.
To me.
That is quite
maybe
that's
not
a good
quite
compliment.
that level, but I enjoy them. I look forward to them coming down.
In a different way, they are definitely what you would call a power couple.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would call them a power couple. Yeah. She has added something to Dolph that I'm not sure that Vicky, even though Vicky is great, but that's something was lacking, and I really believe it was her.
It was a different dynamic. When Vicky came, it was kind of pulling you in two different directions, I think.
I think so.
And I think with AJ by his side, he can do anything now. He would be a believable face now. It would be very simple for him to be face.
It would, but it would be a mistake.
At this point,
he needs to win the belt as a heel.
Yeah.
And he needs to hold the belt, if not longer than CM Punk.
Okay.
Because he's that good.
Okay.
He's that good.
I agree.
So I'm looking at good things.
He's definitely the best bumper of today.
No question about it.
You know?
No, he is our Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
He's this generation's Shawn Michaels.
Today.
Yeah.
And he'll only grow better with time.
Absolutely. I think so.
Anything else on the Royal Rumble that stands out?
I'm going to go to the notes because it was so bloody long ago.
Right. and I don't want to stick too long on this. We have possibly a couple of phone guests coming. Possibly.
Well, that's good. I hope
always say possibly, and I never say who they are because you never know on TV.
Well, obviously Y2J. Huge pops for Y2J. Good to see him back.
That was very interesting because, as he states so eloquently online, it was one of the few instances where the public was actually surprised. They kept it a secret from all the social media, all the tweeting and Facebooking, and they actually surprised everybody, including us. Nobody knew that he was coming back, so that's a victory, I think, for the old style of put a surprise in the pay-per-view kind of thing.
And something maybe not so high up on the list, but something that impressed me was Goldust. I think they've missed the boat between Goldust and his brother. What do you think?
A great conflict. It had a lot of excitement for you and I and a lot of other people, but I hear that McMahon himself doesn't go for that idea of the brother versus brother thing.
There was a lot. First of all, if you're just looking at that, let's just look at the 3 to 5 minutes that those two battled in the middle of the ring. Because, you know, it's traditional that when two combatants come out, that everybody kind of steps aside, fights off to the side, and the two do their thing in the center.
Right.
Well, that was the case with Goldust and Cody.
Yeah.
I felt that Cody's reactions to Goldust was classic.
Yeah.
You could have started a feud right then and there.
Sure.
And especially where now he's broken up from his tag team partner.
Yeah.
And they're going on to singles again, that it's a prime moment to at least do a small program with Goldust. They're missing the boat on it.
I don't think they had quite done that yet with the tag teams. And I want to get into the tag teams more in depth later on, because I know that's a big disappointment to you. Now, as much as you yelled for Dolph Ziggler and you wanted him to be in the top 3, I was as disappointed in Wade Barrett losing to that new guy, Bo
Dallas.
Bo Dallas.
Yes.
And they continued it long after Royal Rumble. And I just don't think that, I mean, it's great for Bo Dallas, but it's pretty bad for an Intercontinental Champion to be losing to an NXT rookie.
We have 2 second-tier titles.
Yeah.
We have your United States champion, Antonio Cesaro, and you have Wade Barrett as our Intercontinental Champion. To me, both are invisible.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've said this, and I agree with you on Antonio Cesaro. Great competitor in the ring, lacking something. Lacking something big time. Okay? And Wade Barrett, you're seeing something that I still don't see. Wade Barrett makes me want to go to sleep. The man has talent. He has the ring ability, but I can't put my finger on it. To me, he's less popular now than he was.
And the reason is how they're booking him. They're booking him the same way they're booking Randy Orton. Randy Orton puts you to sleep for the same reason. They don't give him anything interesting to say, interesting to do, nothing unusual, just the same old when he's in the ring. The same for both guys. Both guys are suffering through lack of attention from the booking and the writing.
Do you think this has something to do with having such a large roster that is increasing almost every year with new people? New blood is good, but that some of the old blood, your Randy Ortons, and let's say, I don't want to say Wade Barrett's old blood, but
Randy Orton, we'll talk about him for a minute. Randy Orton, he gets real big face pops.
He does.
No matter where he goes, what city it is, they want to see him. I'm reminded of RVD. RVD, the people always wanted to see him in a bigger program against bigger opponents, and I mean by bigger, more important opponents on the roster. And it's just no one's listening. No one's listening in the back, and that's why I think that's very negative for Randy Orton. But Wade Barrett is the same. Wade Barrett is a very, very good mic person. Very good on the mic.
But he's not given enough to say. And they did it classically. They did it again on Raw, where he was cut off again. He was cut off again.
Yeah, and they made an issue out of it, too.
And he made an issue out of it. It was his celebration. And it's funny because it almost seems like he's dosing a little reality in there, where he's saying himself that he's frustrated, that he knows that he can do better, and he can definitely be on the mic better. He's not given the time to do it.
Maybe this is as they were doing with The Miz. The Miz had to go on a downward spiral before they let him come back up again. Now, Miz just beat Cesaro the other day on Raw.
The Miz is hot again.
Yeah, he's starting to get hotter again.
Absolutely. He is working his way back up, and I like what they're doing with him.
He's definitely not on the level. Now, I'm not saying talent-wise. He's definitely not on the level roster-wise as he was when he headlined WrestleMania.
Right, but when he headlined WrestleMania, what did we say then? Did we say too soon, too fast?
I think I might have.
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think I'm not even, I can't remember whether I was on board with it.
You were more on board. First, you hated The Miz because you remembered him from the reality show.
Because he was being stuffed down your throat every week.
Right.
That's the part I didn't like.
Then when you were on board with it before I was.
Right.
I could take him or leave him at that point.
Right.
And I mean, I do like him as a face. I didn't think he could do it, but I've been proven wrong. I think he's a good face.
And interestingly enough, you mentioned to me, I think maybe it was on the phone or the last show, that when Ric Flair had kind of given him the okay to use the figure four, you mentioned, well, he hasn't used it.
Yeah.
Well, he used it as a finishing maneuver. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing.
So that,
interesting.
Somebody said to me that it was embarrassing to watch Ric Flair on the segment with The Miz and that he was making a fool of himself. But I don't remember who said that.
Look.
Somebody I know. I think as long as he passed the torch to The Miz, he could do whatever he wants.
As far as Ric Flair goes, whether he's in TNA, whether he's in the WWE, whether he's in some small independent federation, Ric Flair is over the top. He's going to drop elbows on his jacket.
Yeah.
He's going to pull his pants off and kick his Gucci shoes off into the audience.
Yeah.
He's going to woo too much.
Yeah.
He's going to talk about flying in airplanes and everything else. That's Ric Flair.
Right.
He is nuts. That's his character.
Yeah.
He is crazy. So to say that that's over the top, I've seen stuff in TNA. This is after the fact, because I'm not a TNA watcher. That stuff that he's done over there, that is completely insane.
Right.
Completely insane.
Right. I think what's happening here is a lot of people are reacting not so much to what he's doing, but how old is the person doing it. For some reason, people are uncomfortable when a person in his 60s is jumping around the ring. Okay? It doesn't bother me.
Right.
But it seems to bother other people.
Well, you know what? He's not wrestling. He's not coming out in a robe and his wrestling trunks and doing a traditional match. He's having a couple of brawls with people. Right. He's dropping a few elbows. Maybe he's doing a figure four or two. Right. That's nostalgia. Right. Peeking his head in and saying hello. That's all that is. That's Ric Flair being Ric Flair.
Right.
He will never stop doing that, ever. When Ric Flair is 75, he will still be giving people the figure four leg lock.
If he's able.
I'm just saying. If he's able, he will do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's just in his blood.
What do we have for time? Because I know that you have a guest calling in tonight, and I want to.
We do. We have about 5 minutes. Maybe we should go to a break.
All right.
And wait for the caller to call in so we can get his mic ready because we're miking the phone here.
All right. Let's do that.
All right. So we're going to be right back, and we're going to go to a break, and hopefully we will have a guest. If not, we will continue on our road to other subjects. Questions or comments for Wrestling Talk?
Have we ever met?
There are many ways to contact us and reach out.
Hello, operator. Is this Susquehanna 2222?
You can write to WrestlingTalk@gmail.com or go to our Facebook page and give us a like. Or even send us a tweet at WrestlingTalk87. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel listed as Leonard Aaron.
A marvelous accomplishment.
A prodigious achievement.
You said it. It's putrid.
And now back to the show. Welcome back, and our guest at this time is Joseph Bruen, the head of the Hall of Fame of New England. What is the exact name, Joe?
It's the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. And what's the website so people out there can go to it?
Absolutely. You can log on to www.nepwhof.weebly.com.
Okay, well, I want to welcome you to Wrestling Talk. As you know me, we're Facebook friends. This is Ed Whittier here, my co-host.
Absolutely.
It's nice to meet you, Joe.
So, Joe, how did you get started in promoting wrestling and then eventually devising this unique Hall of Fame that you have going?
Well, I started in 1998. Had my own wrestling talk show, Joe's Professional Wrestling Talk Show for Cox Cable. And that was out of Rhode Island and Massachusetts. And from there, basically ran my own independent wrestling promotion, the HWF, the Hardcore Wrestling Federation, which then became the Heatwave Wrestling Federation. And I started that up in 1999, and we ran that until 2001. Spot shows, 3 or 4 shows a year. And, basically from there, just really got heavily involved in the ring announcing. Ring announced for over 30 promotions over the past 15 years or so. And basically from there, just took it to the next level with the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, where it actually started as basically in an absence of intermission. It replaced intermission with awarding some of the first class, which was 2008, and having some speeches and whatnot. In 2009, we turned it into its own event, not related with a wrestling show, and just became a great success. We've had some great crowds, 300, 350 for the ceremony, and it's gotten bigger and better each year.
That's fantastic. Now, this year you have a lot of big names on the show. Why don't you name them?
Sure. For the Fan Fest in the morning, we have some legends like the Powers of Pain, Warlord Barbarian. We have their legendary manager, Mr. Fuji. We've got the Demolition Axe, Smash. Of course, Jerry the King Lawler. We've got the Superfly Jimmy Snuka, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Over 15 WWE Hall of Famers. I'll probably be around 20 when the show arrives. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Bobby Lashley, Matt Hardy, a whole host of others. Of course, the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, Birdman, Coco Beware, and the list just keeps getting bigger. So it should be very interesting.
Wow, that's an impressive roster, no matter where you are.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, some of the inductees for the 2013 Hall of Fame, I just want to run down some of the names you have on there. The Taskmaster, of course, Kevin Sullivan is one of them. And the Barbarian and the Warlord.
Powers of Pain, yes.
The Powers of Pain. Nelson Frazier, also known as Big Vis or Big V, Viscera.
Yep.
Bobby Knight. Nikolai Volkov. Tammy Sitch, also known as Sonny. Mike Hollow. Savano Souza. Remember Savano Souza?
We've had him on the show.
Yes, we have. Mel Simons.
Yeah.
And I just noticed another name down here, and I've had a few run-ins with this person. Brittany Brown.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, man. Unbelievable.
Beautiful Brittany Brown.
Oh, that's a stretch over there, Len.
That's her name.
I know. But who are some of the other names that we have there, Joe?
For the class of 2013, we also have referee Peter B.
Okay.
Peter Corbeil. We have the second annual New England Icon Award, which goes to Larry Bonoff in the Warwick Musical Theater. Larry and his wife will be there to accept the award. We have the late referee Jack Savage. As you mentioned, Sylvana Souza, Mel Simons. We have Mark Basil, also known as Marcus O. Middleton. He passed away just last year. He's been a big part of New England for many years. Of course, the late Bull Curry, Sr., his entire family will be there. The Rocket Fred Curry, Flying Fred Curry. So that's going to be nice to have the whole family together. Of course, Mike Hollow, Purdy Curdy, Kurt Donis, Alex Payne, Steve Langer. The Men on a Mission reunion, Oscar, Mo, and Mabel. As you mentioned, Tammy Sitch, Sonny, and one of the greatest promoters in the New England area, and of course in the tri-state area, Michael Lombardi. Some may know him as Mike O'Brien with NEW, Northeast Wrestling, and he's done a lot for the business. He'll be inducted by Jerry the King Lawler, a close friend of his, Nikolai Volkov, and of course the Powers of Pain, Kevin Sullivan, and headlined by Mr. Fuji. And the ceremony itself will be hosted by myself and Mr. Howard Finkel.
Now, how did you approach somebody like a Jerry the King Lawler who is under contract to WWE? They're usually pretty exclusive.
Sure. Well, Jerry's going to be there in the morning anyway for the Fan Fest, signing autographs, taking photos, and he's a close friend of Mike's. So, I'm sure they obviously went through the proper channels, but Mike confirmed him a couple weeks ago, so it's going to be great to see that.
Now, what town is this held in, and the date and the time? All these events.
Sure, it's going to be in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, and it's at the Seaport Inn and Marina Hotel. That's
Nice
located
facility.
on 110 Middle Street, Fairhaven, Mass. Their phone number is 508-997-1281 if you need directions for that. Doors open basically at 8 in the morning. Ticket registration is at 7:30 a.m. And from there, there'll be a fan fest from 8 to 2. with over 80 wrestling personalities.
Wow.
By far, this will be New England's largest wrestling gathering. From 12:30 to 1:30, there'll be a Q&A session with the 15 super ticket guests. That'll be hosted by Howard Finkel. And from 2 to 3 p.m., we have a stand-up comedy show with Jameson Winger, the former co-host of the Bobby Heenan Show. And from there, doors will close at 2. We're going to be reopening at 4 p.m. For the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. It'll be the 7th annual induction ceremony, and that'll go until about 9:30 p.m. Dinner will be served. It's really going to be a great night. All kinds of events going on. And there'll also be a live wrestling show the night before, which will be at the EAL Hall in Fall River, Massachusetts, just about 15 minutes away, in conjunction with Top Rope Wrestling.
And this is in, what's the date again?
It's on Saturday, June the 22nd.
June, so we got a lot of time. That's good. I mean, we can have you on maybe one more time before it happens. If you want to come up here, if you want to call in again. It sounds like quite an event. Now, I want your opinion. What's your opinion on the WWE Hall of Fame, specifically Bruno Sammartino being inducted into that?
Well, it's a long time coming, that's for sure. I mean, you can't really have the WWE Hall of Fame without Bruno.
Right.
They've extended it to him, the invitation, on numerous occasions, so it's not that they didn't want him in it, but obviously they had their differences. I'm glad they were finally able to settle it and really come to an agreement.
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Now, one of the other inductees, Mr. Fuji.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Fuji has always been one of the great managers back in the old days of the WWF. Do you think nowadays, this is kind of off subject a little bit because we talk about managers, do you think that is what's lacking these days in professional wrestling, is managers such as Mr. Fuji and Bobby the Brain Heenan?
I do. That's something that's been lacking for years now. It kind of went away, I think, with Armando Estrada. I think he was kind of the last of that breed.
That's
right.
right.
But as of late, I'd say the past year or so, it seems like they're really bringing it back with, Vicky Guerrero, and now they have Uncle Zebekiah back, Dutch Mantel, and
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman and Ricardo Rodriguez. And, I mean, there's a good mix now, so it seems to be coming back. And, I think wrestling needs it. Wrestling definitely needs it, that's for sure.
I agree. Yep.
Well, Joe, I want to thank you for what you're doing with the Hall of Fame. It's a great mix of New England and national talent and international talent. And, you're doing honor, I think, to a lot of people that put in a lot of years and time on the road. And it's not an easy profession, professional wrestling, from what I've observed in my slight association with it over the years.
Sure.
But
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, and best of luck with everything, including your promotions.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll obviously talk before that.
All right, take care, Joe.
Good luck, Joe. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.
That was Joseph Bruen, the head of the New England Hall of Fame, the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. And that was an interesting guest.
I got to say that is one of the most impressive lists of professional wrestling personalities I think I've ever heard.
I'm kind of speechless.
I was looking at the names online today, and I was writing down because I wanted to make sure I got the inductees correct. But I could not write everybody who was there because, like he says, close to 80. There's literally close to 80 people.
Isn't that amazing?
It's unbelievable. I'm so looking forward to this.
I want to go.
Yeah. Oh, no, wait. I have to go. I have to go now.
All right.
I mean, it's fantastic.
We'll try to bring a camera down.
And, of course, I mean, if Brittany Brown's going to be there, I have to be there.
We'll get that reunion on tape.
Yeah.
At least I will. You may black out. She may hit you again.
Let's not talk about that.
Let's pick up where we left off now. We were talking about, I think we're about done with the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think so.
And I wanted to talk about tag teams because I know that's a big favorite of yours.
It is.
Tag teams have been basically, and I mentioned this on my Facebook and on the Wrestling Talk official Facebook page, that tag teams have been dismantled after 2012 with the Royal Rumble. After the Royal Rumble, they dismantled them all pretty much, except for Hell No.
Well, no, that's not true. We now have a couple of unusual tag teams that are popping up. This is going to be the year of unusual tag teams. First, it was Hell No. That's an unusual combination of guys to put together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now we have Tensai.
No. I'm not even calling that a tag team.
Wait. They're tagging together, aren't they?
They're
I'm
dancing at the end.
Can I say his name? Brodus Clay and Lord Tensai. No, they are tag teaming. They were just in a mixed tag recently. So I think what you're looking at is the very birth of some other strange, unusual, that, believe me, these fans are going to buy into.
This is, again, the Santino effect times 2.
Oh,
okay?
God, here we go.
By pairing Tensai, who wasn't going anywhere,
Absolutely
Brodus,
he was going backwards.
With Brodus Clay, who also isn't going anywhere.
Right.
You've got a double Santino effect. They're just going to be, their purpose is not for a match. The match is incidental. The match is just like having a bag of potato chips and filling time. Their purpose is to dance and to entertain the crowd, to be foolish.
I'm going to prove you wrong.
They're not going to give them the belts.
I'm not saying they're going to give them the belts, but what I'm trying to say is, Len, I could be hopeful. Can't I dream? Can I dream for a sec? Please?
I think you're pipe dreaming.
All right, fine, and I'm pipe dreaming, but...
You haven't seen reality yet. You haven't yet accepted the fact that they broke up all these great tag teams, or potentially great tag teams. Get it out. Get it out. Complain about it. Rant and rave about it. This is not the Ed Whittier that I know.
What do you want me to rant and rave about? It's the same old thing. Yes, WWE's still shaking the freaking camera.
There we go.
Okay? That does feel good, actually.
You're not ranting about the tag team situation.
Because I think that they've seen the light. I think they're going to actually start to form tag teams. You don't think so?
You're feverish, boy.
Oh, God. It's cold in here, Len. I can't think straight.
The fact that they team Brodus Clay with Tensai, and you want to take that seriously? That's so goofy.
Listen.
That's as goofy as my yelling right now.
Give it another week. Give it another, by the next show, they're
going to get rid of the girls, and they're going to be a serious tag team,
and they're
going to be the champions.
Len, it is the Santino effect. I agree.
Come on. I even did that in the right key, too.
You did.
We got to have fun on this show.
No,
plus, he's right. It is cold. I'm moving because I'm cold.
Yeah, I know. I should probably run around the studio for a sec. All right, look. I admit. It's an unusual tag team. Yeah. The only thing that gives me hope for it is the success of Team Hell No. Kane.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
At very odd. Again, Kane was going nowhere.
Yeah.
Bryan was kind of stuck in a rut going nowhere. Now, whether you like it or not, whether we hated all the stuff they did together, all the crazy backstage crap they did, but for some reason it seems to work. I have a feeling that this crazy Tensai and Brodus Clay team is going to work. I don't know why.
Wow. That is, I've heard of optimism, but that's off the charts.
See me by the next show.
You can.
And if I'm wrong, if they haven't done anything by our next show, which could be Lord knows when, okay, then you will be right and I will be so wrong. And then I will tear apart the studio over the fact that tag team wrestling is dead.
Yeah.
Is tag team wrestling dead? I mean, look, they took Cody Rhodes out of a tag team already. That was a team that was just starting to get going. And they already split
the Rhodes Scholars.
That's right. And they already split them up. And what was that name you wanted to call them, Ray? The Ye Rhodes Scholars.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That would have been a good, I like that.
Ye Rhodes
nice
Scholars.
touch.
That's my son, Ryan Whittier. I got even credit for that.
That's the King Richard's Fair touch.
I like that.
I like that.
It would have worked. Yeah. And I thought that tag team was working.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right, Len. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying not to be my normal self.
Yeah, well.
I'm trying not to be a half glass full or empty type of guy.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I was going to say full, but no, I'm not going to get you to bleep. You have enough problems with your hand over here. I don't want to have you on the bleep beep button.
But, I mean, I think you're right. I think what they're, and this is the last we'll say on this subject, they're revitalizing a novelty type of tag team.
Right.
Again,
True.
I'll add to what I said earlier.
Yeah.
They are not to be taken seriously. I'm sorry. But we're going to move on.
I do like the Santino effect. You have coined the phrase.
Yeah.
No doubt. The return of Mark Henry. Now, I know that you celebrated for days on end after the return of one of your favorite WWE wrestlers, Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Am I right?
Not.
Oh, you didn't celebrate?
No.
Oh.
You know why?
Yeah, tell me.
Because that's what I do.
Oh, because that's what he does. That's what I do! That's what he says. Well, that's what he does.
That's his latest addition to his multi-dimensional character. I'm being sarcastic, folks.
What are they going to do with Mark Henry?
It's
going to be the same thing that he did before.
I'm going to tell you something. Even though he's been around for a long, long time,
sure has.
I'm not talking about him now.
Okay.
I'm really on board, and I've become a Big Show fan. And I look forward to his appearances.
Really?
I like the way he speaks. He has been elevated in my eyes since he went from a face to crying as a face, to brutality, to
being a clown face.
Being a clown face.
Yeah, and doing all that fun
He's
stuff.
done it all, and he just has he has more of a dimension to me now. I like his feud with Alberto Del Rio that they just finished.
Yep.
You know, I don't know what they're going to do with him now. Actually, right now as we speak, he's on Main Event addressing the WWE Universe and airing his grievances.
I have to admit, more mic time is good
Yeah.
for the Big Show.
Right.
The less time they put him on the mic, the less interest there is. Because it seems to me that just because he's a big guy doesn't mean he's interesting.
Right.
And that when he has something to say, I'll actually pay attention. That's a good thing.
He's got a lot of expression. Now,
Absolutely.
I want to seg back to Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Last year, or whenever they were both fighting each other, actually, I believe, at the time, there was minimal interest on my part for both of them.
Right.
Okay? But I see the Big Show has grown, no pun intended. Mark Henry has stayed the same. He's just, no matter how much he growls and throws people around, he still is not a great speaker, and he doesn't have that many moves, and he's just ho-hum to me. He puts me to sleep.
Okay.
So
I can't disagree with you. I'm hoping, I always hope for good things for Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Because I think the guy is a talent. But what are they going to do with him? Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Another return after, he says 9 months, so let's say it. Jack Swagger has returned with a new look, a new attitude, and now we're really, really walking the political lines here.
Oh, yes.
With this new character, Zeb Coulter.
Zeb Coulter, who's really Dutch Mantell.
Dutch Mantell from the old USWA.
And we worked with him on the Paul Fay Memorial Show.
I didn't recognize him at first, I have to
didn't
admit.
recognize him either. He has this big, giant mustache.
But you know what kicked it off is when Jerry Lawler says, I've seen that guy before. Of course you have. You've done multiple programs with Dutch Mantell over the years. Yeah. They've traded the USWA title back and forth probably 3,000 times.
Yeah. Now, okay.
Where do we go with this?
The delivery of Zeb Coulter.
Yes.
Okay. He's only appeared a couple of times, but he's already made waves because of his politically incorrect views.
Right.
Okay. WWE, knowing that they have a large Latino audience, Hispanic audience, made Alberto Del Rio into a face. Okay. At the same time.
And made him champion.
Yep. That's working very well.
Yep.
Now, this Zeb Coulter, or Dutch Mantell, or whatever you want to call him, is walking a very dangerous line by saying that non-Americans, and whatever his definition of a non-American is, or his definition of an American is, don't have a place, you know, in this country, in WWE, or whatever. You know, he's not coming out and saying things against any minority group, specifically the Latino group, but he's still, everybody knows what he's doing.
He's close to saying it.
He's close
and
to
I
saying
think they're
it.
going to, at some point, because of the mainstream media attention that it is getting, and from conservative radio personalities have also given this attention, not realizing that we are dealing with something that is literally a work.
Speaking of that.
But at the same time, for those who watch this product and believe what they're seeing, basically what this character is doing is they're making Tea Party and libertarians out to be some sort of a racist group.
Exactly. That's what I was going to...
Which is...
Alex Jones said that. He said... He blasted the character for portraying Tea Party members as racist xenophobes. The article noted that Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler joked during last night's Raw, so the announcers have a part in this, that Coulter received fan mail from Jones, Glenn Beck, and Rush Limbaugh. So that's WWE's, not that they're agreeing with these xenophobes, but that's their knock on xenophobes, which is kind of...
It doesn't seem
weird
to me, first of all, as far as I'm concerned, we know what professional wrestling has always done. It has always walked the current headlines line. It has always walked a political edge, okay?
Yep.
Do I think that this is a good political edge for them to walk right now to get Jack Swagger over? No. There should have been something else they could have done with Jack Swagger to get them in this program with... Well, you still online there?
Yeah, no, actually, I just hung up on our guest that's calling in by
well,
accident. We're going to go to a break now, and we're going to come back with another guest, okay? We'll be right back. Oh, my. Questions or comments for Wrestling Talk?
Have we ever met?
There are many ways to contact us and reach out.
Hello, operator. Is this Susquehanna 2222?
You can write to WrestlingTalk@gmail.com or go to our Facebook page and give us a like. Or even send us a tweet at WrestlingTalk87. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel listed as Leonard Aaron.
A marvelous accomplishment.
A prodigious achievement.
You said it, it's putrid.
And now back to the show. Welcome back, and the guest that I just hung up on by accident is the one and only Madusa.
Wow.
Welcome back to Wrestling Talk.
USA, and I heard that you have Ed in the background.
Yes, I'm
and
right.
I just want to tell you, I don't remember you because you're not all of that. Because if we were together, I don't remember you, and it wasn't all that.
Wow.
I don't think you
man.
ever met in person, did you?
Yes,
I'm just kidding.
I met with you when you first came up to the show, when you were here with Paul Fay and Len Kaplan. I was doing camera.
He was just a kid then.
I was just a kid, yes.
I know you were only like what, 15?
Yeah, I was, yes. Yeah, right around 15.
Yeah.
I'll send you the picture of you kissing him.
Okay.
Anyway.
I wouldn't put it past myself. I probably would.
Now
I'd probably lay a good smooch on him.
You were on crutches.
You had a
at that
broken
point.
leg
You
at the
came-
time.
You came from
On
Japan.
crutches?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was coming back from Japan at that time when I was living there, and I had a knee operation,
Yes.
and I flew straight from Japan and came to you and did a show.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Yeah, you did. And
You
we.
see, that's because of you, Len. It's all about you, dude.
Well, thank you. Very nice.
You're the man.
Very nice to hear. Well, you're the woman.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Don't make me say something that you'll regret.
There's no right way to say you the woman. It's only you the man. That expression
I know,
doesn't exist.
It just doesn't even sound right saying
No,
you're the woman.
no, it doesn't.
You're the man is the
It
bingo.
doesn't.
That's right. Just-
Now, you haven't been on the show in a few years, and I wanted to get your opinion on a couple of things, such as Bruno Sammartino joining the Hall of Fame in the WWE. What do you think of that?
Oh, good old Bruno Sammartino. Well, there's a legend right there.
Yeah.
I think that the Hall of Fame that Vince McMahon has with the WWE, it's a genius idea. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's a money, banked in money in the bank. And besides that, it gives the wrestlers a purpose. It gives them a feeling of everything that they've done throughout their life and their years and dedication. Myself being 18 years of a pro wrestler, there's no validation afterwards. You're kind of like, okay, there was 18 years, and you just go on in your life, and boom, it's gone. However, then we have Vince put things together, the Hall of Fame, and really makes yourself feel important that you've done something not just good for yourself, but for everybody in the fans. And it gives you purpose. And as far as Bruno, what a man. What a man. There's no, I shouldn't say there isn't, no, there isn't. There's a lot of men and women that are deserving of the Hall. San Martino, what the hell did it take him so long to put him in there for,
Well, I think there was a lot of negotiations over the years, in the past couple of years, and it's my understanding that Triple H had a lot to do with making that connection between Bruno and Vince McMahon, the Hall of Fame, this time around.
Well, if Triple H made this happen, then, big hugs to him.
Yeah.
Because that is great. What a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for Bruno and WWE, and a great collaboration together. And it was a smart move. And if Triple H did that, initiated that was probably a very smart thing to do. Again, there's other people and wrestlers out there that are well deserving, but Bruno, it's great timing. And if anything, if I know Bruno, it's like, okay, where's my deal? I want some dolls. I'm gonna get this. I want some DVDs. What else do I get in this thing, right? Well, we're at Hall of Fame. Why wouldn't you sign a legend contract? Say, hey, this is what it's all about.
Right, exactly.
Now I want to get back to you, Madusa.
No, you don't need to get back to me. It ain't about me. This interview is not about me. Let's talk about other people.
Who is it about then, if we're having you on?
Well, because I can talk freely. It's so hard talking about yourself and just blowing smoke up someone's butt all the time when you're talking about yourself.
Well, people want to know this. I have an agenda here, okay?
I'm sure you have an agenda. I have had an agenda for you since you've been at my house, and you were staring at those wolves in my backyard, and you were scared to death.
I was not scared. I was not scared of wolves. That's my favorite animal.
No.
You know that.
So you slept in the spare room, and I had one of my wolves that were stuffed from when I had it taxidermy, and he was right there staring at you, and you said you felt comfortable. That's cool.
I love that. I love that. And you gave me the Kabbalah to read, remember?
And you want to know? You want to know something, Madusa? I sent him when he went down to your place. I asked him to do one thing for me, one thing, and he couldn't do it. One thing.
I forgot.
I said, I'm the biggest belt mark in the entire world. I says, Jess, will you please ask her to see what the women's title looks like, take a photograph with it, and come back with it.
I forgot.
He forgot.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn, are you kidding me?
He forgot.
I did. I forgot.
He forgot.
You know why? Because I took him to the best prime rib steakhouse ever. I don't eat meat.
I know. I heard about it.
That stuff has not touched my lips in 30 years. I don't eat that stuff. But let me tell you, he devoured that. He devoured the prime rib and the steak or whatever. But you know what? That's what happened. All that bad meat just got all up in his brain, and he forgot that one thing that you wanted to. But you know what? Because you want that, I can send you a picture of me standing there with that belt around my waist.
All right. Sounds like a point. Good. Thank you.
Okay, I want to get.
There, Len, your history.
I want to get to. You tweeted a lot of stuff about kind of teasing fans that you were at Raw.
I tease fans. I'm on Twitter, so I tease them all the time. So what?
So everybody thought that you were in WWE or you were at Raw, and it was all blowing smoke. Or am I wrong?
What are you talking about?
Huh?
So, okay, let me tell you. Through my years of wrestling, I have kept close to a few wrestlers, and we're really good friends. Paul Heyman has come out to the monster trucks with his kids, and I absolutely love his kids. I told him that I'm going to take them from him, and I'm going to adopt them. But so he gave me tickets to WWE that next night. I couldn't even tell you what town that was. It kind of like goes back to back. It's like wherever Monster Truck is, and then that following Monday,
right,
WWE is there. And wherever Monster Trucks is, it's like kind of like WWE is there.
Right.
So whatever that was, it had to be in his vicinity of wherever he lived, because he came out to the show with the kids. And then that next Monday, we got tickets to go to Raw. So that was cool. It was like right up front. And then Beth Phoenix came walking out, and all my crew chiefs and all my crew guys were all there, and they're standing. They had the signs. They're going, "This is gonna kick your ass, Beth. Beth, this is gonna kick one more title." I guess the tracks, and she looked straight at, and just that was it.
Wow, that's cool. Interesting though. So there was some truth to some of those tweets.
Well, let me
yes.
Let me ask you a question. If the WWE had approached you to go back into wrestling again, would you do it and defend that title that you never lost?
Well, let's just make this straight once for all, because I get hundreds and thousands of questions about going back into wrestling.
Right.
I loved wrestling. I was there for 18 years. I retired in 2001 and took on another male-dominated sport, career, entertainment. What the hell was I thinking? But I love what I do. They're both entertaining. As far as wrestling, when I retired, I have received, some invitations from WWE to go back. It just either wasn't the right timing or my scheduling or whatever. I still hold the title. It never was yanked. It never was taken away. It was never beaten. I still have the women's title. So, I don't know. If they were to call and say, hey, let's do an angle, let's go back, let's do something, it's not that I want to go back and bounce around and, on the mat again, because I'm not there anymore. If I were to go back, I'd do a short angle, to drop the belt back, to the deserving diva that, would get it. But who's even there? Who's even left?
Well,
it would have been the best match ever between Beth Phoenix and I.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know at this point. Now that I'm thinking, there isn't really anybody. I don't know.
I think maybe Natalia.
There's the snooker chick, and there's Natalia. Who's there?
Who?
There's the snooker.
Yeah,
Snooker's
Tamina Snuka.
Tamina Snuka, yeah.
And who's the other one?
And Natalia, what's her name?
Natalia Neidhart. That's who I said.
Yeah, Neidhart and Snuka.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
What, second, third generations? That's cool. But you know what? Okay. Then I don't know. Maybe sometimes you just need to bow out gracefully.
Yeah.
I am the champion. You need to leave the champion, and I still am. And maybe that's what needs to be.
Just like Moolah. Moolah never lost her belt.
No. So there you go.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm getting offers from two different organizations, or I shouldn't say two. I have gotten offers from WWE, getting offers from another one. But, is that what I really want to do? I don't know. I don't think so.
Your schedule's
pretty
pretty full.
I think I need to keep moving forward. Yeah, pretty much. I'm not saying no.
Right.
I'm saying I want to wrestle on the mat all the time. I already done and did that.
Right.
Now, could I create an angle and kick some ass? Absolutely. Could I be a management type of level? Absolutely. Can I cut a promo? Yeah. Can I put some asses in the seats? Yeah. But I don't know. You never say never.
Well, it's been a complaint between us over the years of what has happened to the women's division, especially in the WWE specifically. And as of late, there's not a whole lot going on. And we're quite disappointed by some of the talent that has left over the last 3 to 5 years. And we're just, it's not backfilling any talent. And I hope we're not seeing the end of women's wrestling in the WWE as currently I see it now.
Okay, let me, on WWE's defense.
Yeah.
That was happening back in 94, 95, 96 when I was there.
Right.
And they were going through other adversities of things, at that time. They drew down. And they had to cut things here, there, and there. And the best place to start is the women as far as the wrestling area. And just in his defense is that they probably keep the women and keep them eye candy, and they can do that because sex sells. But as far as the talent, But you guys got to remember, it's entertainment. Those girls, a lot of them could never really pull off full segments of wrestling like men.
Right.
A lot of them were enhancements. A lot of them did take it seriously. I think the most serious one that they had was Holly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nora Greenwald.
Yeah.
She was the best thing that they had left back in the day. And then there was a few intermittently.
What about Trish
there.
Stratus?
I mean, Trish was beautiful. Trish had some great acrobatics, gymnastic moves. She was good at her time and at that prime level. I can't put her in the same category as a lot of the other hardcore wrestlers that could pull it off, but she was good at that time. For what they delivered and what they wanted, she was perfect.
Right.
And then you had your candy asses, as far as your Keeblers and your Wilsons and your stuff like that. When I say candy asses, I'm just talking about as a eye candy, beautiful.
Sure.
Couldn't wrestle worth crap.
Right.
They were good, and they were good at what they did for the reason what they wanted, and blah blah blah. Even though I trained Keebler and I trained Wilson and whatnot, it just they had one thing in mind. They were beautiful, and they ran with it, and it sells.
Did you have any dealings with Lita?
I wish I did had some interaction with Lita because she looked cool as shit, and she was probably one of my. I could feel she'd be one of a part of me and one of my sisters.
Yeah,
she was just kind of.
You can see
yeah,
it.
she would have been definitely in my corral, in my army, so to speak.
Now I want to bring up a blast from the past. Bull Nakano.
Bull Nakano.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Nakano, yeah.
Let me get that Japanese straight. Bull Nakano. And Bull Nakano is probably one of my best matches ever.
Yeah.
Her and I could deliver a match. We could tell a story. There's some mistakes, probably. But I took a beating from that woman, and I sold for her like a mofo. It just was the best. We were tagged as better than the men at times. And to me, that carries far. When you go back with your match and you go back walking through the curtains and the guys go, holy crap, that was better than any man's match. And then you know that they were nervous to follow you. You know that you were putting something in good. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good feeling. One more, Dump Matsumoto.
Oh, Dump Matsumoto. I remember I had one match. She was intertwined with me over in Japan in some match. And that woman, oh my gosh. She walked into an arena and it was on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was even scared to look at her because she was in character.
Yeah, she was.
And yeah, to back in the day, if you were going to become a wrestler, your goal was to go to Japan, and that's what you trained hard for. That's what you fought for. That's what you did. Well, I got my big break, and I went over to Japan for 3 years and lived and breathed and ate in Japan, Japanese ways and lifestyle that I loved it so much that when I came back to the United States, I had a culture shock coming back to the States. And being over there, I received so much respect for just hanging with them. And any other American never survived. Even to this day, not one American woman survived what I endured over there. And to have their honor and to be able to shake their hand and have a contract for 3 years with them is just, that's my heart is in Japan. My heart is the Asian market. Absolutely.
Do you think you'd ever live there?
I live well. I would like. I'm yearning. I cannot wait to go back. The monster trucks that I do now in racing and stuff for the last 12 years is that not only are we United States, but we're international now. We have the whole European market. We have Latin America, and we're hitting the Asian market the first time this year. So I'll be going up there for Manila, or maybe the Philippines or something, and then we're going to go to South Africa and Australia.
Wow.
Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show, believe it or not. I can't believe so much time has gone by. I wanted to talk about Madusa Fit that you have on Facebook.
Well, why don't we do
Yes,
this?
I do.
End the show, and then we can
You know what?
continue.
I love how you plug me. I love you, Len. You're more than a friend.
What I want to do, if you have a couple of minutes, a special YouTube extension of this interview, if you don't mind waiting a minute while we end the show. Is that okay?
Okay.
I'm Leonard Kaplan along with Ed Whittier. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Wrestling Talk with our two guests, Joe Bruen and the one and only Madusa, saying so long. Thanks for joining us, and stay in the ring.